Hello and welcome to episode 25 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle, and I am joined by Aaron, and
Hello.
we are going to be talking about some UFC. It has been a little bit since we've done this, and there's been a lot of big stories coming out, a lot of big fights over the past few weeks, and a lot coming up. So I'm excited to actually get to sit down and watch a UFC pay per view tomorrow. But uh,
It starts
yeah,
at 9 a.m.
it does. I probably will only watch the main card, but
I love waking up to fights.
so
It's like the
I
best.
I work tomorrow at 5:30, so it
Yeah.
really uh, kind of benefits me time wise because I can watch 321, and then Mizzou is on the road, so I don't have to work for them tomorrow. So I can
Yeah.
sit and watch the Mizzou game until I have to go to work, and then work
It's
till late in the night.
it's really good waking up to fights. It happens often when they have events in China or something. The last event in China, I woke up at like 7 a.m. and the main card was on, and I had missed like six fights. But it's I love waking up to fights, but then for the rest of the day, it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
whereas on a normal event day, it's like I wake up and I'm waiting all day, and then it sort of peaks at night. But it's nice having them on in the morning.
Yeah. Uh, but before we get too deep into 321, we still haven't talked about UFC 320, and so we are going to recap that a little bit because there were a lot of fights that I think we were both really excited about towards the end of that main card, and they both ended very interestingly. I don't know if either one of us, or maybe the endings aren't as interesting as how the fights went in general, because I don't know if we expected those fights to work out how they did.
Mm.
So we're gonna kind of start with the light heavyweight side of things because it's kind of the meat and potatoes of it. Because there were two fights. There was a championship fight, and there was what we can basically consider the number one contender fight in there. So the first of the main fights was Yuri Prohaska and Khalil Roundtree. And this was actually the first fight that I got to see because I worked that night. And so I got home basically right as this fight was starting. And it was interesting because I think we both expected Yuri to win, but Khalil Roundtree put on a really good first 2.5 rounds of that fight.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. He banked the first two, but unfortunately, you have to kill Yuri Prohaska in order to win, or you have to be Alex Pereira in order to beat Yuri Prohaska. So that he's something else. Like he's just got like there's something about him. He just has, I guess, his fighter spirit is. I mean, you can be better than him. You can be more technical. You can be, um, you know, more powerful. But he's just his dog is bigger than anybody else's. Like you have to put him out. I truly believe that if you don't knock him out, you're gonna lose the fight. Like you won't win a decision against him. Because the first two rounds, Khalil he cleared him, and then in the third, Yuri came out and he just fought. He gassed him out. His pressure, his pace, his he kind of just throws himself at you, and you have to kill him.
Yeah, and what you said, I agree with because I do think there are actually quite a few fighters that are more technical than Yuri, but Yuri is the kind of guy that he thrives in chaos. Like I said, the first 2.5 rounds were very like status quo. They were both, the word that I will use for lack of better terms, excuse me, is fighting normally. It looked like a very clean fight that Khalil was just winning, And then once it got a little bit messy at the end because Yuri started, jumping around and kind of confusing Khalil, that's kind of when things went downhill and ended with a finish.
Yeah. I think Yuri started to land his jab really well at the end of the second, and then in the third, like that, the third is probably round of the year, or probably the best rounds I've seen in recent memory because they were both landing crazy shots. But it's some of my most favorite fights is watching a fighter melt somebody, like especially after losing. But like watching someone get melted by pressure and volume is some of the best fights you can watch because it's just going back and forth until one fighter comes out on top, and you see a professional fighter quit in the octagon, not quit, but sort of give up. And that's why I think Max Holloway is also one of my favorite fighters because of his volume and his pace that he puts on guys, landing 600 significant strikes in a fight against Calvin Kattar and landing all these strikes records. It's some of the most entertaining stuff. But yeah, Yuri Prohaska, his cardio, is insane.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for Yuri because I think Yuri is legitimately one of the most fun fighters to watch in the UFC, and getting to see him, I am assuming based off of how things are working out, he will probably be involved in the next championship fight in the light heavyweight division, but there are a lot of ifs about that, which we will
Carlos
get to.
Solberg.
Yeah, we will get
Yeah,
to the
not people
real quick.
sleep on Carlos Solberg.
Well, I'm not necessarily sleeping on Carlos Ulberg. The ifs come from what we're talking about in the next fight because in the next fight it was Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, the rematch. And I think we both, when we were kind of previewing this fight after 319, we both really expected Ankalaev to be able to uh, get Alex on the ground, which he wasn't really able to do last time. But we were expecting him to
Mhm.
get off on the ground and being able to at least make it competitive with his wrestling. And he never really got the opportunity to because in the first round, Alex was able to knock him out.
Yeah, Alex just came out just with disdain for Ankalaev's skill set. Like he just didn't care whatsoever. He looked terrifying in the first round. Like he just marched forward, was throwing heat, throwing with bad intentions. He wasn't worried about the takedown. Like he was like, we're just gonna fight. I'm gonna come at you with everything that I have, with sort of just disdain for your skill set, and we're gonna see what happens. And he landed a great shot, um, and Ankalaev panic shooted or took a panic shot, and he was on bottom and he couldn't move. He was just getting rained down with powerful shots from Alex Pereira, and it's hard to move when you have a guy like Alex Pereira on top of you, just raining down shots on you. And so yeah, there's the Ankalaev camp is coming out with a bunch of excuses about injuries. Oh, he had a rib injury. He had this. He had that. But it's very rare that a fighter will go into a fight completely free of injuries. And it's interesting that when Alex is healthy and when Ankalaev is injured, Alex goes in there and takes him out within 2 minutes. But when Alex is injured and Ankalaev is healthy, Ankalaev scrapes by, with a 5 round split decision. So, I mean, Alex was apparently injured in the first fight. He lost, and then Ankalaev was injured in the second fight, and he got taken out within 2 minutes. So,
Yeah, and kind of like you said, I don't think there's any fighter that's actually going into a fight 100% because UFC fight camps are hard. Like you
hmm
are doing a lot of sparring. The workouts are intense. Like you're gonna get banged up doing that in some way. And if it's not like a serious injury, you just have to fight through it. But with what you're talking about, with not really caring about the threat of the takedown with Ankalaev, that was really what Pereira had to do. Because if you go back to their first fight back in March, him caring about the takedown is the reason why he lost that fight. Because he was caring so much about the takedown, he was way too passive, and he wasn't able to fight with his game plan or the game plan that he always goes into
Hmm.
these fights. And he looks like Alex Pereira after a loss. Like if you go back to uh, his fight with Izzy after he lost that fight, he was a lot more aggressive. And it's I don't love how this fight ended because if Pereira won this fight, I really wanted to see this be a trilogy. I know not a lot of people care about Magomed Ankalaev. A lot of people don't like him. I don't dislike him at least, and I think if you're
Nah.
able to beat, I think
Send him to the back of the queue. Have him
for
fight. What's his name? Carlos Olberg.
well, I normally think if you're able to beat a great champion like that, and we're talking about like possibly a top 10 all-time fighter in Alex Pereira. If you're able to beat a great champion like that, I think even if you lose the next one, normally you should get a third. But it wasn't. I think it needed to be more convincing for him to do that, and I don't
Hmm.
think he's gonna get that opportunity. And that
Yeah.
leads me to the question about what is next in light heavyweight because there are a lot of things going around. Obviously, Yuri won that fight with Khalil, but I don't think there's any way you can have Alex and Yuri fight for a third time when
Yeah.
Alex won the first two extremely convincingly.
Yeah.
So it's rough because things are looking down on Yuri for that, but there's always the potential of Alex finally making the move to heavyweight. And if that happens, I think it opens things up a lot more for Yuri because he might be able to fight Carlos Ulberg for the
Hmm.
heavyweight championship. Is that what you see happening, or what do you see happening in light heavyweight?
Dude, if Tom Aspinall, I mean, honestly, if either of them win tomorrow, Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gane, if either of them win tomorrow, I could see Alex Pereira jumping up to heavyweight. I'm pretty sure he was talking about recently how even his cuts to light heavyweight now are starting to become like very hard on him. And I don't know how he ever made 185 because that's an extra 20 pounds further to cut. Like,
He put on a lot of weight. He's a lot bigger walking around now than he was.
yeah,
I think he was walking around at like 220 when he was fighting at
yeah,
middle, and fighting at light heavyweight he walks around at like 245.
yeah. And so, like, I mean, I can definitely, regardless of the winner tomorrow, more likely if Tom moves up, because that'd be such an exciting fight right now. Is Pereira versus Tom? I can definitely see Pereira moving up, and then if he wants to vacate his title, which I can see him doing, I don't see him bulking up to heavyweight and then wanting to cut back down to light heavyweight, considering he's already knocked out Yuri, the number one contender twice. I see him just vacating, and Yuri and Olberg can fight for that vacant strap. But yeah, I could definitely see that being the situation that plays out. Or like I'm a huge Yuri fan. I think he's probably top five most entertaining fighters of all time. Um, I don't want to see him fight Pereira again because I don't think he ever beats him. I don't
I don't
think
think
I don't
that's
think he ever beats him.
I don't think the UFC wants to see that either.
Yeah, I don't. I think the best case scenario is Pereira move up to heavyweight, get huge, fight Tom Aspinall, make a ton of money, and then Yuri versus Olberg can fight for the light heavyweight strap. Because honestly, Pereira has kind of cleaned out the light heavyweight division. He's beat Ankalaev. He's beaten Yuri. He's beaten Jamal Hill. He beat Khalil Roundtree. I mean, he beat Jan Blachowicz. What? He's got to beat Carlos Olberg? No. Like, Carlos Olberg just got here. Like,
I don't want to see. I don't want to see Carlos Olberg fight for a title, period. But especially not
yeah.
against.
I mean, his Carlos's best win is probably Jan Blachowicz, and he went to a decision in a fight that a lot of people think Jan won. But I think Yuri's the most deserving of the next shot, considering he knocks out Jamal Hill, former champion, knocks out Khalil Roundtree, who's gave Pereira his hardest test at 185 or at 205. And those two wins back to back, I think he should get the next shot. I don't want it to be against Pereira.
Yeah, I agree with you on what the best case scenario is, which is, Pereira and Aspinall having a super fight, because that is what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a couple different avenues that we could get to the worst case scenario, though, and I won't have to bring that up. The first is obviously, in order for that to be a situation, Tom has to beat Gon, which we're going to talk about that. I think that's what everyone is expecting to happen, but there is always that situation that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, and I am hoping Dana White has more sense to do this, there's always those talks about John Jones. There are a lot of conversations about John and Alex wanting to fight each other at the White House. And I believe Alex has a broken foot right now, or that's what he's saying, or has some sort of injury. And so he probably won't be available to fight again until around that time. I am scared that they are going to try and make Alex versus John a thing. And the only ways that they can do that is set it up for somehow. So, to everyone watching at home, our friend Reggie is very into UFC. And what he thinks Alex's next fight is going to be is he thinks John Jones is going to cut down to light heavyweight and fight Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title, which I don't see that happening in the slightest.
He said that. Reggie said that.
Yes.
I love Reggie. He's got some of the most delusional MMA takes I've ever heard.
We will have Reggie on this podcast at some point, and I will be more of a mediator in that conversation, because I'm just interested in hearing what they have to say. Because some of Reggie's are definitely
Reggie. A few weeks ago, Reggie texted me at like 3 a.m. and he says, "The White House, Conor McGregor versus Colby Covington." I was like, "What? What are you talking about? Conor McGregor versus Colby Covington."
But that is something that he has claimed could happen, and that is something that I think he has been mirroring from both Chael Sonnen and Daniel Cormier, two people that are in like UFC media, like some of the biggest names in UFC media right now are saying, "Hey, 39-year-old John Jones is going to cut 40 pounds with 38-year-old Alex Pereira, who will also cut 40 pounds, who is sick of cutting weight. They are going to go fight for the light heavyweight title in 2026. I don't see a world where that happens. I think what is more likely if that fight is going to happen is it be a heavyweight fight, but they do it for a BMF. And I don't think anyone wants that.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I don't.
I, I think there is intrigue, even still, to an Alex Pereira versus John Jones fight, but something has to be on the line. To where I legitimately think the only way that is an appealing option is if whoever wins this fight, Dana White decides that John Jones is going to fight them in March, either Tom or Cyril. They bring John Jones back and they fight in March or something like that to
Mm,
be able to fight for John to be able to fight Alex for the heavyweight title in June when the White House card happens.
yeah.
I don't.
I that
I think
that
there's
may
no
be
way
a
that happens,
yeah.
but I'm scared that the UFC is going to end up making the main event of the White House Alex Pereira and John Jones for a BMF.
I think the main event of the White House is either going to be John Jones or Connor. I think it's either going to be Connor versus Chandler, or it's going to be Jones versus Tom or Pereira. Because I think they have to put an American in the main event in a high profile matchup. You know, Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor is it's a matchup that's been made before, and it's something that Conor has came out and said that he wants the Chandler fight again. And I mean that's a fight that's very likely, or John Jones in some form or fashion against either Pereira or Aspinall.
I think if the main event of the White House card is Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, I think there will be a lot of UFC fans, including myself, who will be extremely disappointed. And I think that should be a fight that happens on that card. It can't be the main event. I do
Connor would
think
never be a co-main. He just wouldn't.
Co-main is kind of pushing it for that fight. Um,
Can
because
you imagine though?
at that point it'll be 3 years since Conor McGregor fought. He
Imagine the patriotism if Mike if Michael Chandler knocks out Conor McGregor on the White
I'd lose
House
my mind.
lawn.
I'd lose my mind. I would love that. That would be
That would
great.
be just fireworks. Like that would unite America. Like left or right, doesn't matter. Like
My dream scenario for my dream fight for that White House card is John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
yeah.
Um, I would also honestly love to see it, like American or not. I would love to see it be Aspinall versus Pereira, just to
Yeah.
shove in John Jones's face.
Yeah.
Uh, I do think, and I will also say I had a lot more. It was a lot more appealing seeing John Jones and Tom Aspinall fight each other when the fight was supposed to be on 4th of July, because that is United States versus Great Britain
Oh yeah.
on the 50th anniversary.
That's actually a
Of
good point. I didn't think about it that way.
that would have been great. Now it's supposed to be on Donald Trump's birthday,
The
which,
White House card?
yeah, it's supposed to be on June 14th, which is
What?
Donald Trump's 80th birthday, which is also a Sunday. Um,
That doesn't
yeah,
make any sense.
I think they ruined it a little bit. But John Jones wants that fight, and I would love nothing more than for him to not get it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. What I would love more is Tom Aspinall to knock him out on the White House lawn.
Dude,
That would be
I th-
that would
I
be great.
think I think he does. I think Tom smokes John Jones. I think he
Um,
smokes him.
but I don't know. Everything's a mess. I don't know what I want anymore. I I just don't want John Jones to get what he wants. That's my that's
Yeah.
just but I also don't want, like, I feel like the heavyweight title has to be on the line at the White House.
Yeah.
That's just
I mean, the
my
biggest fight, the biggest weight class, you
but
know.
that I don't, we're still how many months? 8 months away from that fight. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. Before we get too deep in the woods for heavyweight, which we kind of already have been,
Yeah.
we got to talk about the other fight that happened at UFC 320, which was Merab and Corey Sandhagen. And I got to give some sort of credit to Corey. Made like he made some moves in that fight. He
Yeah.
did what he could, but Merab is an absolute psychopath.
Yeah, he's as his nickname would say, he's a machine. I don't know how he went from losing to a guy named pretty sure he lost to a guy named Frankie Sains. Um, and what is his name? He lost to somebody in his last fight. Um, he went from that to having just endless cardio and being able to shoot 30 takedowns in a fight. It's just insane. Like
Yeah,
he's
and
not even breathing heavily.
I believe he's won. Okay, that's not true. Well, did he lose his? I believe he lost his first two fights in the UFC and then went on a 14 in a row. Is that what
Maybe, maybe.
happened?
Um,
Either way,
yeah,
I don't know what exactly the numbers were in terms of how many takedowns he had in that fight, but Merab became the record holder for most takedowns in UFC history. He's the first one
yeah.
to 100. He is at 117 takedowns in his UFC career. And
It's just
the
crazy.
reason, the main reason why I say he's a psychopath is because he just went 5 rounds with Corey Sandhagen, and now it was announced this week, I believe, this week or last week, that Merab is fighting again this year. He is fighting in December against Piotr Jan, which
Yeah,
that's the fight that you have to make. Why is it 2 months after his last fight?
he's a freak. He's an absolute sick man,
Um,
and it's
I'm gonna be
against somebody he already dominated. Like he's lapping the division.
I'm I'm looking at the bantamweight rankings right now. I don't know if there's anyone that's gonna beat him.
Yeah,
I
he
think
beat he already beat Umar. He beat Corey. He beat Sean. He beat Peter already. Um, I mean, I think that's a lot of the top five right there. I don't know if I'm missing anybody.
Song
Umar, he beat Umar.
Song Yadong.
Song Yadong. I mean,
That's
Peter beat Song. Like
yeah.
he, I don't know.
After that, we're getting into Davison Figueiredo territory.
Yeah,
What I do think they want to make a rematch with Umar at some point. How long before Merab moves up to featherweight? Because there's nothing left for him at bantamweight.
Well, he said he never wants to fight Volkanovski because he sees Merab is so humble too. Like he talks about how like Volkanovski's his bigger brother and he doesn't want to get beaten up by Volkanovski. Like this dude, he's so likable. He's very humble. When Aljo, when Sterling was the champion, Sterling and Merab were always close friends. They always trained together. And Merab would talk about how he always gets beaten up by Sterling and he doesn't want to fight him and he's his brother. And the dude is just very, very humble, like very likable, um, a very nice dude. And so, but what I'm hearing a lot is a lot of people want um, the flyweight champion, Pantoja, to move up and fight Merab because Pantoja has cleared out his division, and Pantoja and Merab are fighting on the same card in December. And so if Pantoja beats
Joshua Van.
yeah, Van, if Pantoja beats Van, which he probably is, let's be real, and then if Merab beats Yan again, then why not make that super fight? You know, why not let Pantoja try to move up? You know, because I mean, Merab is what I think Merab's 35 or 36. How old is
Okay.
he?
I wish UFC would have
Yeah,
their
pretty
age.
sure Merab is 34, 35.
Rob's 34. He turns 35 in January, so
Yeah,
right after
yeah,
his next.
and like you know, Pantoja, he's 35 right now. Probably by next year, by the time he fights after Van, he'll be 36. Merab is 34, almost 35. Like in the younger weight or in the lower weight classes, like 35 is not you're not a spring chicken. Like you've got some miles on you, and I probably see Merab fighting. Dude, if he say he beats Yan in December, which I think is likely, and then say he beats Pantoja, like that dude probably all time would be I I think at this point he's the bantamweight goat. And then I think if he won or if he defended it two more times, I'd say he's solidified in a top 10 all time goat list. Wherever you want to put him in that 10, you know, I think he'd probably be five. Um, but I mean, he's just tearing it up. He's killing it right now.
Yeah, currently on a 14 fight winning streak, so he's
Yeah,
knocking on the door, I believe, of the longest winning streak in UFC history.
yeah.
Uh, it's either held by John Jones or Anderson Silva, I think. I think it's
Hmm.
right around 16. But yeah, 14 consecutive wins. Or well, that might be not be true because I guess I don't know how they count that with moving weight classes and John Jones's DQ that he had. That was nonsense. But
Yeah.
uh, I'm interested in Merab and Pantoja fighting. I also think Merab does need to move up at some point. Like they can do
Mm.
that fight, and then Merab probably needs to move up because like. Yeah, Volk has the title right now, but like there are a lot of young guys that are knocking on the door behind him. Like depending on how you feel about Movzar Evlov or a rematch with Diego Lopez, which I think will probably happen at some point
Mm.
if Volk holds the title for long enough. Yair Rodriguez, Lerone Murphy, like I
Yeah.
like Volk is coming up on 37, I believe. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long he's going to hold this belt. So maybe he'll wait until Volk loses or until he retires. But I do think Marab is going to need to move up at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends. From the outside, I think he should win another two defenses and then just retire. Like just retire as the
I hate that.
bantamweight goat.
I hate
Just
people retiring with the belt. I hate it. Or
I
leaving the UFC
mean,
with the belt.
if you're Khabib and you've defended the title twice against two strikers and everybody's calling this dude the goat, like that frustrates me. But if you're Marab and you've defended the title six or seven times, you can walk away. Like I don't really I don't
You're
really
gonna get
care.
you're gonna get me in a heavyweight mood again because Francis pisses me off and John Jones pisses me off because they both left with the
Yeah,
belt and left Tom to
those
fight no one.
yeah, those are different because
I
Francis
understand
won
why
the
Francis
title
did.
and then left.
Yeah, I understand why Francis did because Francis was in a contract dispute.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
John Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, he
What
blatantly he
advice would you say
blatantly
to talk?
ducked. Yeah, he blatantly ducked Tom Aspinall, and he was saying that Tom Aspinall, this dude hasn't fought anybody. You're the last guy he has to fight. He has the interim title. You're
Yeah,
saying he hasn't fought anybody, but you won't fight him.
we're getting creative for people for him to fight because we can go ahead and move into UFC 321 at this point. It's
Hmm.
tomorrow. The main event. It also pisses me off how they're doing this right now because they're having a. Uh, they're kind of doing what they did with UFC 320. The main event is Tom Aspinall versus Shogun. Right before that, they're having a number one contenders card with Alexander Volkov and Jalton Almeida. The issue with that is one, I don't see a world where Cyril wins that fight. Like, there are
I
ways,
do.
I guess. Like, yes, Tom needs to work on his striking defense, and he needs to put his chin away. And yes, Cyril's had how many months, 11 months or however long it's been since his last fight, to not be a terrible wrestler. Is he really catching up to Tom's ground game at that point? Like in 11 months when Tom's had a year and a half
I don't think
preparing
he
for Tom.
can.
And then on the feet, I do think Cyril is more technical. He's a better boxer, but he doesn't have the power to knock him out.
Hmm.
Like that one punch knockout power like Tom has. Where like
Yeah,
Tom could lose if he is super careless and he's, you know, trying to do his ducking and weaving thing like he does against Sergey Pavlovich, who's not nearly as fast as Cyril is. And
mm.
it could he could stumble and he could lose that fight. I don't think there's been a fight in 2025 that I'm more confident about how the result's going to be.
Mm. Yeah. I th- so there's a few things that concern me. Number one, it's Tom's boxing defense. He backs up with his chin in the air. Number two, and I want Tom to win this fight. Like I am rooting for Tom. Number two is Cyril is a very good striker. He may not be as fast. He may not be as powerful, but he
He's
is a heavyweight.
he's pretty
Um,
close to the same speed as Tom.
yeah, and so Cyril looks in better shape for this fight than he's looked in any fight. He's got I'd say he's got better footwork than Tom as far as striking goes. He's the more technical striker. And I think he has a good chance on the feet. Now when it's on the ground, I think Tom obviously clears him. But I think my fear is stemming from the fact that if say Cyril Gane goes out and knocks out Tom Aspinall, all right, can you imagine what John Jones is going to be saying? He's going to be like, "See, told you guys all along. This Tom Aspinall guy, he's never been all that." When Tom he was ducked, by John. And so, if Cyril goes out there and knocks him out, the what we're gonna have to endure from John Jones on Twitter is gonna just be it's gonna hurt.
It's also a catch 22 though, because it's like either the guy that you ducked won, or and like you'll have to be like, okay, well at least this guy has fought someone of substance, like not the best fighter in the world, but someone of substance. You can either have that or he loses, or the guy that you beat in 2 minutes beats the guy that you ducked. which is kind of even more of a own in a way.
Yeah, but
I don't.
John Jones, the way he's going to justify it, he's going to say, "See, I dominated Cyril Gahn in less than a round, and then Cyril Gahn goes out and knocks out Tom. I knew the whole time that Tom wasn't who you guys have been saying he was. That's why I didn't fight him."
Yeah, I think if Cyril wins this fight, the heavyweight division's in trouble
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
already it's the worst it's ever been. Um, and if you're the heavyweight champion of the world in the heavyweight division is Cyril Gahn, who, granted, he's had a pretty good career to this point, but he's lost. He lost to Francis. He lost to John. This is his technically his, depending on how you look at interim titles, his third or fourth attempt at a title because he was an interim champion at one point. But I mean, if that's your champion, if he wins, I think there's an immediate rematch. That's what I
Mm.
think is would be next for the heavyweight division because I don't think, but also Dana White hates Tom Aspinall, so that
Yeah, it would suck if Cyril won because we saw Cyril get like manhandled, like think around 2 years ago by John Jones in less than a round, and we saw him lose to. We saw Cyril Gahn get ragdolled by Francis Ngannou.
who was
Think about
injured.
that for a second. Francis
Francis lost.
Ngannou ragdolled Cyril Gahn, and yeah,
What I think is going to happen in this fight is at some point Tom does take Cyril down, and I think that's going to be how he wins that fight. I'm am a little bit nervous that he's going to have. It's almost like, so he's been making jokes during his media about how this fight is going to end in a boring 5 round split decision.
it's all a
And
bluff.
yeah, I don't think that's going to
It's all a
happen,
bluff.
but I almost think I'm trying to figure out how to word this because I think he has that 2 minute, 2 second, or 2 minute, 4 second time that John Jones finished Cyril in. And I almost think he's going to have the reverse effect of what people think it would, to where it's like, okay, I need to make sure I make this fight last longer than 2 minutes and 4 seconds to show people that I don't care about that as long as I win this fight. And I don't think it's going to be a 5 round split decision, but I do think he's going to keep this fight on the feet longer than he should. And as much as I don't think Cyril is going to knock him out with one punch, he could hit him, and
Dude,
if he
yeah,
staggers him, then that could be enough to make the fight swing in Cyril's favor very quickly.
yeah,
So I do think his best course of action is to take him down almost immediately.
yeah.
And yeah, but the other reason why I hate how they're doing uh this card is the number one contender fight is between a guy that Tom submitted in the first round and a wrestler who is giving up 30 pounds to Tom in the first place with
Mm,
Volkov and Almeida.
mm.
Like, that's not an enticing number one like, I think no matter what I think will probably happen is whoever wins that fight, if they don't take too much damage, is going to fight Tom in March. And if they do take a lot of damage, I almost feel like they're going to call Derek Lewis.
Oh, Derek Lewis.
Who
Yeah.
else? I'm. Who else would they really call? Because Tom won 3 fights in 2026.
Hmm. Well,
I'm.
I mean, Volkov in Volkov's last fight, he fought Gon, and a lot of people think that Volkov won, and
Yeah,
so,
and I agree.
um,
I'm talking about
yeah,
if if Volkov and Almeida is a 5 round bloodbath and they both take too much damage for them to be able to make that quick of a turnaround? Do they make Tom wait until summer? Do like they're not going to call Curtis Blades, they're not going to call Sergey Pavlovich.
You
After that,
call
you're going to Waldo Cortez Acosta or Sergey Spivak.
you call Alex Pereira.
He's
That's who you
injured.
call.
He's injured.
Dude, whatever. He I bet if he got a call to fight Tom, say, hey, this fight just happened in October. In July at the White House, you guys are gonna fight. So get ready. Like,
So if they can't do Volkov or they can't do Almeida, you think they just make Tom wait until June, July?
I mean, or if he wants to fight Pereira in March, if
That's
Pereira's gonna be ready.
that's the thing though. If he has a broken foot, maybe he could get ready by March, but
Mm,
I don't know if he has time to get a camp go like to recover from a broken foot and have a camp that's long enough for him to fight Tom Aspinall.
yeah.
My ideal scenario, Tom wins this fight. That does happen, and he beats Pereira in March, and then Aspinall Jones at the White House. That would be
Hmm.
awesome. I
Yeah.
don't see that happening though.
Yeah. I don't know if Volkov, um what's his name?
Almeida.
Almeida. I don't know if that's going to be a bloodbath because Almeida's his fights aren't the most entertaining. They're kind of just he kind of takes guys down and smothers them. And I don't see him doing that to Volkov. I see Volkov being able to play the distance game and keep him on the outside and defend takedowns. Um, Almeida's very strong, but I don't think he's gonna have the physicality in there to do that to a guy like Volkov, he's fought pretty much everybody at heavyweight. He's fought Curtis Blades, he's fought Aspinall, Gane, Lewis, he's fought Pavlovich. Like he's beaten a lot of these guys, and I just don't know if Almeida's gonna be able to do him like he's done a lot of other guys. And so,
I do think Volkov's going to win this fight. The
mm.
Can Dana go tell Jalton Almeida you're a light heavyweight now? He weighed in
Yeah,
he weighed in at 237 pounds.
yeah, and that's a part of it. Like I just don't think like he's very strong against like the light heavyweight, the lower ranked or the unranked light heavyweight. Like he's gonna ragdoll and look like Khabib against these guys all day. But when it comes to a guy like Volkov, who's like like 6'6" or 6'7",
He's listed at
um,
6'7". Tom says he's
yeah,
6.
yeah, like a guy like that, like trying to grapple a tree, like, and he's got experience against pretty much most of the top 10 at heavyweight. Like, I just don't see Almeida doing him like that. And Almeida actually lost to Curtis Blades by TKO, and so not that long ago. I don't know. I think Almeida picked up one win after that loss, and now he's fighting Volkov. Maybe two wins. Who did Almeida beat after losing to Blades?
He uh lost to Blades, and then that was in March of 2024. In
Hmm.
June of 2024, he beat Alexander Romanov, and then
Okay.
in January of 2025, he beat Sergey Spivak. Both of those were first round finishes. He beat
Okay. Well,
Romanov. He beat
Yeah,
Romanov in two.
Romanov got cut by the UFC, so he's not even in the UFC anymore. So, and then Spivak, that's like a free win if you're a good light heavyweight or if you're a good heavyweight. Like Spivak has lost to Gon. He's lost to Pavlovich. He's lost to Aspinall. Like in terms of these higher ranked guys, like Spivak is like I just don't see Almeida showing Volkov anything that Volkov's never seen. Like Volkov's too crafty and he's a crafty vet.
Yeah, Romanov's 1-1 with one no contest
Yeah.
in EFL right now. Um, yeah, I would love to see Jalton Almeida go be a light heavyweight because I honestly
Yeah.
think he is capable of winning a championship in that
I
division.
think so too. Yeah.
Um, he's just too small to be a heavyweight.
Mhm.
Have you seen? So Tom Aspinall has his YouTube channel, and he got interviewed by Daniel Cormier. And after the, I don't know how, or I don't know why Tom let this go out unless he talked to DC, but I don't understand why DC would let this go out. There is on one of his videos, there is a conversation where DC is whispering, like not wanting anyone to hear, but Tom is still mic'd his channel because of they were filming stuff with his channel, and he was absolutely dogging the heavyweight division. He was like, "Hey, like, have you seen that?"
No, I haven't.
He was like, "Hey, the run you can go on in this division is generational
Yeah.
because your next fight is either going to be Volkov, who you beat in the first round, or, and this is the best part, or Almeida." And the quote that he had in there that had me rolling, Almeida can't fight. I I don't know how that came out. I don't know why he would let that come out, and I don't know how
Yeah.
he didn't burn a bridge with DC.
Yeah.
But that, it's funny. It's true. Um, that was
Yeah, I haven't seen that clip. I mean, Almeida can fight. I just don't see him beating you know, these top guys. Like he's a very very good grappler. Like he was ragged. Now that I remember it, he was ragdolling Curtis Blades. But granted, he was kind of stalling him out. But I remember him picking up Curtis Blades, who's probably one of the
he's
bigger heavyweights. Like
he's
he's
also one of the
very
better.
very good.
He's one of the better wrestlers in the heavyweight division right now.
Yeah, but
I think this is the first
just
time in the history of the UFC, maybe, that there hasn't either been a former Olympian or a former Division One national champion or even a former Division One All American wrestler in the UFC heavyweight division. Uh, the most decorated wrestler in the heavyweight division is Curtis Blades, who is a JUCO national champion.
hmm yeah. Um, but yeah, I just think Volkov is just too. He's too big and he's too long. I don't see Almeida giving him problems like that. But Almeida's very, very good.
Almeida weighed in at 237 pounds
Yeah,
at the end,
that's concerning.
and he's 6'3". Alexander Volkov, like I said, is listed at 6'7", and he weighed in at the weigh-ins at 261.5 pounds.
Yeah,
And then if he does somehow win, he's gonna have to fight Tom Aspinall, who weighed in at 255 pounds.
yeah,
Even 18 pounds, a big
yeah.
difference.
And I
Um,
mean, hey, like maybe Almeida can pull it off, but it's just going to be grappling for three straight rounds, and that's something that Volkov is very familiar with. Like he's been grappled for 3 rounds. He got grappled by, um, he got heavily grappled by Blades, and in fact, since then he's had some really good performances against some really really good grapplers. And I think he's made the adjustments, and I just don't think uh, Almeida's going to show him anything that he's not seen before.
Yeah, I'm excited for the fights tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Tom Aspinall ends up winning. I'm hoping this is a run of the best or one of the best heavyweights in UFC history. It sucks that he's not going to get the names under his belt like someone like Stipe did. Because when I was having that conversation with Reggie, we were talking about the names that Stipe had to beat in order to have the run that he did, and it was kind of unbelievable. Like, let me pull that up real quick.
Overeem, JDS, Verdum,
Yeah, he's fought in title
Ngannou.
fight, beat Fabricio Verdum, beat Alistair Overeem, beat Junior Dos Santos, beat Francis Ngannou, lost to DC, beat DC, and then lost to Francis, and then came back at 85 years old and lost. And then even before that, he's had a different fight against Junior Dos Santos. He beat Mark. He beat Andrei Arlovsky. I mean, he's beat a lot of. He has a lot of names under his belt, and
Yeah.
Tom, unless he somehow ends up fighting Alex Pereira and then fights John Jones, and then they throw a bag at Francis and bring him in to fight him. Like
Yeah,
he's not.
Dana doesn't like Francis, unfortunately, and so I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know if Francis.
he also doesn't like Tom Aspinall, and that's why he sent him off to Abu Dhabi to fight at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, co-mained by Verna Yonderoba and Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah,
Uh,
Verna Janjiroba.
okay, whatever you say. Uh, there was also a video of Andy Aspinall like talking to a reporter, being like, "Yeah, Tom has 3 fights left on his UFC contract. I don't want him to sign another one. Like, I want him to go box."
Oh,
Like, I would love for Dana White to stop pissing off the best fighters in the heavyweight division.
yeah. I mean,
Before,
I'd be upset too. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, he should have stripped John Jones way before
yeah,
he decided to retire, and
yeah,
then announce it like it's nothing in the middle of a press conference. That whole thing pissed me off for Tom. That's why I'm such a big Tom fan, because he pissed me off. It pissed me off for Tom, and it pissed a
yeah,
lot of people off. And I'm afraid they're going to do the same thing that they did with Francis. Um, but before we
yeah.
go, one more thing that I wanted to talk about real quickly. Just because he was such a big name for a while, and people thought he could potentially end up being a middleweight contender, including us, I think. What do you think about RDR's fight this past Saturday?
I thought he looked really, really good in the first, but Allen's top game and top control just won him the fight. I think um, some people are saying that that's like that's RDR's fourth camp in the past year, and so that could have played a factor in it. But I think it's more like Allen's top control, and Allen is a really good fighter. Um, and I don't think RDR is by any means done, but I just think Allen is a lot better than people gave him credit for. Like Allen is a very good fighter. RDR didn't lose to a bum. Brendan Allen is very good. But like RDR looked very, very good in the first round, and then the second. He was getting his back, he was getting the body triangle. RDR is just he's so long. He throws knees to the body, like he can throw a knee to your face without a ton of effort. His grappling is very good. I just think Brendan's top pressure and his top game and his ground and pound, I just think it gassed him out. And like um, yeah, I think it was more it was more Brendan's top game and combined with RDR. Uh, he hadn't felt that resistance yet in the UFC against these guys like Whitaker and these guys like Bo Nickel and Gerald Mearshart, Kevin Holland. These guys hadn't offered him that resistance, and he hadn't felt that yet. And so, I mean, RDR is still a great fighter. Like I still see him beating a lot of guys, but I think his cardio is something to work on. But I mean, Brendan Allen is a very good fighter.
What do you think about the corner stoppage?
Um, I think from the outside looking in, we always want to see like violence and we always want to see like a dude die in there. And so when we see,
Really?
yeah, when we see a fighter's corner and when we see a fighter like being willing to step in for their fighter like that, um, I think I can respect that, because like by no means was RDR getting like pummeled or getting like the brakes beat off of him, but he was just gassed, and it was only going to get worse. And so I think it was a tactical move. I think when it comes, I think there's two camps when it comes to this issue. Like one group of people are saying that RDR doesn't have a dog in him. Like he's not tough. Like he drowns or he quit. Um, but I mean, I think, and then another group of people are saying that that was a smart move because it wasn't going to get any better. Like sure, like RDR was gonna go out for another round. Like he wasn't just gonna quit unless his corner stepped in. And so I think I think it was a smart move. Um, if you're beat and you can just acknowledge like, hey, this I'm beat. Um, I think that's it. And RDR came out and he was like, yeah, yeah, the better man won. So
Yeah, I love the move by his corner. I think a lot
yeah,
of times fighters do have that mentality of I have if I'm still up, I'm still capable of going. I have to go, and sometimes the corners have to be the voice of reason and be like, no, like
yeah,
you said you can go, but you're not convincing me right now. I'm afraid you're gonna take serious damage.
yeah.
Let's let's count you being able to walk out of the octagon as a win.
Yeah, and like these coaches and these teammates that are in these corners, like they are so close to this fighter, like they're like family. Like imagine being in your brother, like your blood brother's corner for a fight. Like you're gonna be nervous, you're gonna be anxious, you're gonna be looking out for signs, like you're gonna be very like trigger happy when it comes to like getting this guy out of here and like making sure he's safe. Like imagine being in that situation with when you're like watching your loved one fight somebody else in a situation where your guy could die if he takes a certain amount of damage. He could get life altering damage. He could get injured. You don't ever want to see your family go out. And so I think it was a smart move. I think you got to put yourself in their position too. So
Yeah, and I'm also a big fan of RDR. Like I ever since that fight with Bo Nickel, I never
yeah,
necessarily thought Bo Nickel was going to be a guy that was like a championship contender necessarily, but I thought he was a guy that was capable of like hanging around there and being, in the rankings and doing all that stuff. And this is a three-time national champion wrestler at the top program in the country.
yeah.
And
Penn State.
yeah, at Penn State. and his wrestling was nothing for RDR. Like he had
Yeah.
in that fight, he had him in a body lock. He had control and should have easily been able to take him down, and he couldn't do anything with it. And then RDR hit him with a liver shot, and that was it for him. Like
Yeah.
ever since that night, I've been a huge fan of RDR. I think he's still capable of at least being a championship contender. I don't know if he ever beats Hamzat, but also I don't know what Hamzat is planning on doing. He's talking about chasing Alex Pereira to heavyweight. That's a whole other episode. But I think he's capable of it being a championship contender.
Yeah.
I hate that he is having this setback, but he's
Yeah.
still young, and he's still
I
more
think
than
he's
capable.
35.
Is he?
Yeah.
He does
Yeah, he
not look
came
alive.
yeah, he came into the UFC um
He
having
is
like
yeah.
he had a lot of credentials in one championship. Like
Yeah,
he's one of their best champions, but
I thought he was like 31, 32
mhm.
though.
Yeah. But
That
I mean 35 at middleweight, that's not like that's not young, but that's you could probably he probably has another 2 solid years in him.
yeah.
But I mean, and who knows, like one, maybe probably two or three more fights, like he's knocking at the door of another title shot.
Yeah, he after his fight last week, he's ranked 8th, I believe. He came down from 4th.
Hmm.
So, yeah, hopefully he's able to work his way back up. Like I said, I still think he's capable of being a title contender. But there's a lot of up in the air right now at the UFC. So hopefully a lot of that can be answered. Hopefully Dana White is capable of putting together the best fights possible for the company, for the viewers, and especially with next year with the pay-per-views going away and everything being on Paramount Plus. I think this is a make or break time for not necessarily a make or break time because I don't think there will ever be a break time for the UFC, but I think this is a big momentum shift whether UFC like on the popularity of the UFC, I'll say. So we'll see where that goes. It's all going to start with UFC 321 tomorrow. Like I said, we're both excited for it. Uh, and that is, I think, where we're going to leave this episode off.
Yeah.
Uh, so thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you agree with, what you disagree with. If you're watching on Spotify or Apple Podcast, please be sure to uh, like our podcast, follow it, download it, do all that stuff. All of your support means the world, and we will see you guys next time.